everyone, and welcome back to Mix 1041, Talk 1013, and MixTV.tv. It's Rocky Top Review as today Tennessee travels to number 11, Florida, looking to bounce back from a heartbreaking 31-29 loss to top-ranked Alabama, a game in which the Gators' defense held the Crimson Tide to just 91 rushing yards. Meanwhile, Tennessee comes in having pitched a shutout against Tennessee Tech, 56-0. The question today, can the Vols break their four-game losing streak to the Florida Gators? Our Rocky Top Review, and I am joined as always by Stephen Shelton. This is week 4, and we're presented by CHI Memorial, by Jason Cox and the rookie Josh Rogers. And Shelton, I want to go over to you first and just start however you want.
Oh, I mean, last week they did what they had to do. We said if they didn't put up at least 40 to 48, it was a loss. I thought they played pretty well on both sides of the ball. Still some miscues offensively, but I really think the defense has played pretty well up to this point. Not a lot of competition, of course, but really I think they've shaped up pretty well, and it's going to be interesting to see how well that front line holds up against this Florida offense.
Jason, how about it?
I'm good, Steve. I agree with Shelton. 56-0. Can't complain about that. Valus Jones showed up, and I think he deserves some more touches this week. If you want to be negative and nitpick at anything, we didn't dominate the run game, and we should have. So that's a concern going into a game such as Florida. But the defense, anytime you pitch a shutout in football, it doesn't matter if you're playing our flag football team that Steve put together somewhere along the line. If you pitch a shutout, you've done pretty well. So cheers to the defense for doing that.
It's an alumni game. It'll be brought to you by, let's just say, Gary Voitek, because we would all break our legs at this point. Josh Rogers, I don't know when we're going to bring this bag up he's brought in here.
Number one, it's not a bag. It's a purse.
Yeah, and what I'm blinded by the light here. I can't even hardly talk to you with this thing hanging on your chair that you're trying to hide.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to hide it. It's the NIL. Yeah. It's the NIL deal of the week, the mystery bag.
Everybody's asking me about this. This is all the people. They could care less about the football stuff. They're all asking me who you're going to endorse this or who you're trying to endorse this week. But let's talk about Tennessee for a moment.
Yeah. So last week's game, amazing. We said in Rocky Top Review last week, and Shelton and all of us talked about, is that if Tennessee didn't get 50 on the board, then it would be kind of a loss, for Tennessee. Well, they got 56, so they barely got there. And I mean, 56 points in a football game is tons of points, especially against a Tennessee Tech. I mean, but something that I would look at and see, one of the big points that we made last week was, how does this offense come together? How do they work together as a team? What are some of the key issues that we're looking at? We've talked about the passing discrepancies, having balls overthrown, the running game, having a strong defense. And, I mean, when you pitch a shutout, I mean, that shows a strong defense. Now, there were some big plays that were given up last week, but Tennessee came to play. And we want to say that it was Tennessee Tech, and this week they've got a big deal on their hands. I mean, you look at this game going forward. I mean, Florida played Alabama last week to a 2-point game. Florida, earlier this year we've talked about, it's Georgia and then kind of the rest in the SEC East. Well, after last week against Alabama, I'd say Florida is up there. And so it's going to be a great game to see today what Tennessee has, this Tennessee defense has against this powerful Florida offense, and look forward to see how this Tennessee offense can get turned on this week.
Shelton, because of Rogers last week, the Taliban was trending worldwide.
I'm glad that no one overthrew the Taliban from Tennessee anyway. So, but no, we go back to keys for this week. It comes down to this. Florida's run game versus Tennessee's front seven. Yeah. And if Tennessee, if they can slow down the second-ranked run offense in the rushing offense in the nation with Florida, I think it's 336 yards a game they're averaging right now. If they can slow them down, if Tennessee can do something to slow them down and hit a few of those deep balls, they've got to connect, hit a few. They can make things interesting. I just don't see how it can happen.
Jason?
Well, their running attack is 100% based on their quarterback, Emory Jones. Emory is leading rusher by far, leading in carries by far. Anthony Richardson, talked about him last week, the Florida Nation. They're excited about him, but he's got a hamstring issue, so I expect Emory Jones to be their quarterback and probably the whole way this week. And you have to account for that extra man, because normally in a run game, the quarterback hands off and takes himself out of the picture. But when the quarterback runs, now all of a sudden it's a true 11 on 11 in the run game. And so how does Tennessee adjust to that? Do they have an answer for that, or does Emory Jones run crazy? Because he's not a passer. He'll turn the ball over if we can get him to throw it. He's not very accurate, but if he gets going with those legs, whoa boy, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, Emory Jones, I mean, he came out of high school as one of the number 1 ranked dual threat quarterbacks, and it's kind of, I mean, he can throw the ball, but, to say that he's a dual threat, I mean, he really is a threat when it comes to his legs. And so, like Shelton said, that front 7 for Tennessee is going to have to be strong today. Being able to keep him and keep those running backs to a few yards and make Florida throw the ball. I mean, that we saw last week that they can do that, but it's not their power, not like it was in the past few years under Trask and everyone else. So it's going to be a daunting thing for Tennessee today, but if that front 7 can play strong and play well, it's going to be a good game today for Tennessee and Florida.
All right. Now it's time for a new feature where Josh tries to get free stuff by endorsing somebody. And let's go back over to Josh Rogers.
Yes. So the past few weeks, we've had great NIL deals that we're trying to get. Chick-fil-A didn't get anything for us. We reached out to Buc-ee's last week, talked with their social media team, and they said to send me an address and they might send us some free stuff. But
what? Really?
Possibly, yeah. They're looking at sending us some free stuff.
Taking this serious. I don't know if you know this.
I really want you to know
trying
this.
to land one of these things.
I thought this was a
No,
this is a real deal thing. And so I'm here to say that I got my first NIL deal.
Oh, no.
I did.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep. And so all year long, we've not during Rocky Top Review, but during our high school football crosstown rivalries, we've had a certain segment at the end of the game for our end of game post game show, and I want to say that we are now got an NIL with our friends at Los Margaritas, baby.
Yes.
So they gave us a shirt. They sent us free chips and salsa.
What?
Yeah, we got chips and salsa.
Legend Holloway.
We got chips and queso.
Oh, man.
Josh, you did it, man. You did it. Congratulations.
Look at
Gave me a menu.
Oh,
wanted
my
me to tell you
goodness.
about some of their awesome opportunities
a
they
menu.
have. But
Oh,
hey,
my
look,
God.
we've got free chips and salsa, and within our deal, that was what they said, is that anytime we come to a Las Margaritas, free chips and salsa on the house. So thank you, Las Mas. We really do appreciate
That's
it.
great.
So
Last month, which one?
I go to the one behind Dunkin' Donuts
Yeah, it's
and
25th.
25th
That's
Street.
The old Western
yeah.
Steer, if you've
Yeah,
been in Cleveland
yeah,
a long time.
yeah.
Well, so you finally got an NIL.
Man.
Las Mas, baby.
deal with Legend Holloway. Well, we're going to take a break on that. I don't know what to say. All right, it's Rocky Top Review. They are good. I'll go and tell you. Look at that. Hey, bring a jug of the cheese dip next time.
Hey, I got it right here.
Oh, well, I'm not trusting you on that one. It's been in your purse. Anyway, let's go to the... we got to go to a break. It's a CHI Memorial Convenient Care in the Public Shopping Center. And they're sponsoring us, well, for now, and apparently Las Mas. We're back in just a moment. Wow. Back with more Rocky Top Review presented by CHI Memorial and Memorial Convenient Care. We're on Mix 1041, Talk 1013, and MixTV.tv. We're getting ready for Tennessee, Florida. A 7 o'clock kickoff tonight on Mix and our talk station. Shelton took Rogers, 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
to
I'm
get a-
pretty impressed, though.
So when's your deal and when's Jason's
I
deal?
doubt I'll ever get a deal, but
Yeah.
Cox will get a deal. I mean,
Yeah,
he'll-
Cox can.
he can get one. He can
Probably
get
a-
Maybe my insurance agent will give me a deal.
You would think so.
one. Yeah.
He hadn't yet, but
All right. Well, let's talk about it. Tennessee and Florida tonight, 7 o'clock. Jason, I want to begin with you as far as just breaking down this matchup tonight?
Well, again, I think we hit on it a minute ago. It's going to be a lot of the front seven versus Florida's front. I just want to talk about Dan Mullen. I mean, Dan Mullen is he is an unbelievable coach. I just can't believe what he's done at Florida. We tried to hire him in Knoxville when we hired Pruitt. If we could have done that, man. This guy is a quarterback wizard. I don't know how he does it. He's an unbelievable game day coach, I think. I was talking to my good friend Dr. David Myolan the other day in Planet Fitness, and he's a big Gator fan, and he was talking about what a great game day coach Dan Mullen is. And those Florida fans, they get a little crazy sometimes, and he said he takes Dan Mullen over Nick Saban in game day prep and all that. So yeah, I know.
He's such a homer.
Well, he probably came out of the dentist office and was hyped up on something.
Dentistry or something.
Yeah. So, but man, this Florida team's good. Clearly, like Josh said, I think they're right there with Georgia in the top of the East. They're probably better than most of us thought they would be after Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask graduated, went on to the NFL last year. It's going to be a great challenge for Tennessee to even stay in this ball game because certainly we haven't lately the last few years.
Josh?
Yeah, I mean, this game is really going to come down to one thing, and it's how well can Tennessee stop the run against Florida. I mean, last week, Florida, I think they had they're second nationally. Florida is 336 yards per game rushing, and Tennessee is right around fifth, I think, in the SEC with rush defense. I think is where they're at right now. But also Tennessee hasn't really played anybody with a really big rush defense or a rush offense. Pitt, they rush the ball some, but between Bowling Green and Tennessee Tech, you don't really see that. It's a night game for Florida, so that means that it's going to be a long, long day, and those fans down there are going to be rowdy and ready. And in the Swamp, it's hard to play at night. There's some places and some stadiums in the NCAA that are really just difficult at night and difficult all the time. The Swamp is one of those places. And so for Tennessee, for me, the key to this week to watch is how can Tennessee's defense, how can that front seven stop the run? But if you stop the run and you sell out on the run as a defense, you better have some backup in your secondary to be able to come and play that day. And so for me, looking forward to this game tonight, I really would like to see what Tennessee's defensive coordinators and Heupel has for this Florida Gator offense.
Shelton, before we get more into the preview, Ashley and Bridget 15th anniversary celebration was held here yesterday.
It was a little much.
I thought so.
It's a little, and second, I told them this is my 22nd year of helping you
Not true.
do stuff.
Since 03, which would be 18.
I'm sorry.
I hate to correct you. I mean, I know that I know you were in a reward school back then.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Either way, I said I've never got anything.
Nothing.
I mean, and we've had social media posts. We got balloons. We still have balloons
Well,
hanging up.
I've got a gift for you. Josh, if you'd like, will you grab that bag?
He's got his own bag. That's my bag.
Yeah, we all got a bag.
He got one. She got one for me too.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You didn't do
How
anything.
did this happen? The pretzel chip.
She heard us talking about going to your house to watch football,
Yeah.
and your wife, your talented, beautiful wife,
There you go.
bought some
Mother Teresa.
Yeah, bought some pretzel chips, which you told her we would never eat.
I said, well, it was the debate. Actually.
Yeah, it was a debate.
What's wrong with you? I said that you would never open the bags. And by the way, that's all you guys ate instead of the other stuff
Yeah,
that
we
I
won't name-
prepared
Hey,
for.
so I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Bridget and Ashley, they got an award yesterday.
Yeah.
Who sponsored that award? Because I know you didn't pay for it.
The Johnny Kidd
Yeah.
custom award.
Great, yeah.
Custom ones,
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, Shelton, tonight, Tennessee at Florida.
Yeah,
What else you got?
Tennessee's fifth in the nation in defense at 54 yards per game giving up. That means nothing. They've played no one really that rushes the football. Florida right now is 336 yards per game rushing the football. That means nothing. The only thing that really means something right now is Florida rushed 244 yards against Alabama. Tell me someone that's done that lately. Now we remember Ole Miss throwing on Alabama years past, but who's rushed for 244 yards and held them to less than 50 yards in the second half, 91 yards total. This game is going to come down if Tennessee can force Emory Jones to throw the football. He's 49 of 77 this year. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions. If we can force him to throw the football, put him in positions they have to throw it, third and longs, that I think that gives us a chance. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that's the only formula to escape Gainesville with a victory.
All right, we're going to take another break right here. It's Rocky Top Review presented by CHI Memorial Convenient Care, Public Shopping Center, Paula Parkway in Cleveland. They are doing COVID testing, but they're also flu vaccines and everything else that you need at Memorial Convenient Care. All right, we're going to come right back with more in just a moment. Go around the SEC picks, and then I've got my own pick to make here in just a moment. Mix 1041, Talk 1013, and MixTV.tv. Welcome back, everybody. It's Rocky Top Review here on Mix 1041, Talk 1013, The Buzz, and Mix TV, MixTV.tv. Getting ready for Tennessee, Florida. Kickoff 7 o'clock from Gainesville. Be on our stations, Mix 1041, Talk 1013. And folks, download that free Mix 1041 app. Listen on your phone or mobile device at mymix1041.com. Also presented by CHI Memorial. Well, let's go around the SEC and make some predictions. Georgia at Vanderbilt. So obviously, as you listen or watch our broadcast today, this game is probably, well, it is over at this point, we think. Georgia at Vandy. I'm gonna let Josh Rogers start here. He's the Georgia guy. Of course, Georgia football on 99.1 FM, supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. Josh?
Today, Georgia will beat Vandy like a drum, and this will be Vandy, hopefully one of Vandy's last seasons in the SEC, and we'll get some real talent. No, Georgia big. I think Georgia's going to have a great game today. Really going to see the passing attack for Georgia. Watch for some big plays on defense as well.
Jason Cox.
I've got a question for Josh. Josh, when does the announcement come out that Kirby Smart's going to USC? When does that happen?
Well, I don't know if that's going to be the person who goes. I think that there might be somebody else that we pick later on today that will be heading that way. Possibly.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Shelton is sending out some fake news earlier.
Yes, he is.
I'm just seeing it in my brain. I'll say that.
Yeah, I don't think Vanderbilt brings much to the table here. Georgia wins big.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
LSU at Mississippi State, another game that happened earlier today. But, Jason, let's begin with you on
Well,
this.
my question on this is, does Coach O go deeper on the Stephen Shelton cut list today? I think there's a good chance that he does. I mean, they're going to Mississippi State, got to face the Pirate on his home turf. LSU's 2-1, Mississippi State's 2-1. I think LSU pulls it together today and wins this game, but it could be close. And, buddy, if they lose that one, Coach O's in trouble.
All right, let's Shelton, what do you think?
Oh, I'm taking the home team, Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State could pull this one off. This would be a big win for them. Put them, in the middle of the pack in the SEC West. But I think Mississippi State at home.
What do you have against Coach O? You obviously
I don't have anything.
You've got a problem.
I don't have anything against Coach O. I just think that LSU they're never satisfied, and just their fan base. I don't know why I should be talking. I'm a Tennessee fan, but they're never. They win a national championship. That should hold you over for 4 or 5, 6 years. 2 years later, they're like, hey, let's get rid of the guy. That's their fan base, and Auburn's really close to that as well. They have such a short memory of what they've done. So I just think he doesn't survive. I really do.
Josh Rogers.
Yeah, I think that LSU comes in and wins this one for Coach O. I think it doesn't stop or sizzle down the hot seat. I think the hot seat's still there, but I think that LSU defense against Mississippi State today, the cowbells might be ringing, but LSU will win this game.
All right, another interesting 7 o'clock kickoff game tonight. Kentucky at South Carolina. Shelton, is this a trap game?
I think maybe so. South Carolina's not terrible. They're better than what people thought they were going to be at the first of the year. I loved the comment that about the Georgia game. He's like, well, they have 112 5-star players over there. That's what happened. When they asked what happened in the game, and so I just think that Kentucky though is a little bit better. I think Kentucky's got kind of a wake up call against UTC. So I think Kentucky goes down and they do win this game.
All right, what about it, Jason Cox?
Well, let's talk UTC, man. Shout out to those guys. They had a shot in the fourth quarter to knock Kentucky off.
Don't say it.
Does anybody want to talk about what I said last week?
No,
you
not
know
at all.
anybody?
I thought Heartline picked UTC.
Hartline
He
did.
picked them, but I told you they were going to hang close. They're a lot. UTC's going to win the Southern Conference, really.
Our buddy Cole Copeland. How about
Played
that?
well,
Copeland
yeah.
family.
Played well. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, University of Kentucky was getting a lot of hype preseason. The quarterback transfer from Penn State. Everybody's saying, hey, maybe Kentucky's got a quarterback this year, and if they do, it's going to be a problem. I think Josh said that on the show today, that Kentucky may be a problem, and then they lay that egg last week. So who really knows what we get here? I'm going to take Kentucky in this game. I don't think USC is any good. They're right down there on the bottom of the SEC with Vanderbilt and maybe Tennessee, and so I'm going to take Kentucky in this one.
Yeah, so for me, I think looking at South Carolina coming in after a big loss like last week against Georgia, I mean, that's defeating, and these players sit there and say, well, hey, look at Georgia. I mean, look at the 5-star, 4-star ranks, players that they have, of course, but I think you see South Carolina come back. It's at home for them and play a really big game. Kentucky offensively last week, really defensively last week against UTC was where the problem was. But for me this week, I'm going to take South Carolina at home.
All right. Well, I tell you, and I know Brett Bielema had Arkansas playing well at one time and other coaches, Houston Nutt, but maybe not since the late, great Frank Brawls. Has the Arkansas Razorbacks been so much in the national conversation as they are now? Matter of fact, that's game probably going on as you're listening or watching this show today. Texas A&M, number 7, will go to Little Rock. Fayetteville. 16, Arkansas. That's a 3:30, Shelton, number 1 SEC game slot.
Do you know Arkansas is probably the team that most frustrates Tennessee fans? Okay.
Why?
Because you take Sam Pittman to go out and take a dumpster fire and turn this thing around. They're 16th, I want to take them today. I really want to take them today, but Texas A&M is way too good. But 16th in the nation. He's got him on 3:30 at CBS. Texas A&M's, they're in the prime time game for the SEC this week after 2 years. I look at what Dan Mullen did at Florida. I've looked at what Lane Kiffin's done at Ole Miss. You just look around the SEC at the coaches they hired, and this is just a prime example of why we continue to be frustrated in Knoxville, because you give them 2 to 3 years, nothing ever changes. And I can't explain it, but I'm taking Texas A&M, but I so want to take Arkansas.
Josh Rogers.
Hey, Tennessee fans ought to thank Kirby Smart in Georgia, because that's where Sam Pittman got his start at and where he really grew up as a coach. It was at Georgia, and so he leaves Georgia, goes to Arkansas. For me today, it's hard to play Arkansas at home, and what do they say over there? Pig suey. So I'm going to take Arkansas over Texas A&M today.
What about it, Reverend Cox?
Wasn't Sam Pittman on Lane Kiffin's staff in Knoxville? Wasn't he the offensive line coach?
Man, I'd have to dig
I believe he
back.
was.
Yeah, and then he went to Georgia.
Then he went to Georgia. That's right. This is my last hurdle for me to be a believer in Arkansas. If they get this done today, I'm all in. I agree
What
with
if they
everything
keep
you
within
guys said.
7?
What's that?
What if they keep it within 7?
You got to respect that, but man, if they can get this win, I'm all in on Sam Pittman maybe being one of the best in the conference at that point. What he's doing there is amazing. Texas A&M comes in, like Shelton said, they're just too good. Top scoring and passing defense in the country. Okay, they're going for 10 in a row versus Arkansas, so it's kind of one of those for if you're an Arkansas fan, you got to see it to believe it, because we've been there. You lose that many in a row, it's like you feel like it's never going to happen. Texas A&M's won 11 straight going back to last year. So, they're just rolling right now. I'm going to take Texas A&M.
All right. We're about to run out of time here, but Shelton lied to me last week, and he said there's no Ivy League football. Not so fast, my
Rogers
friend.
I didn't say that.
Somebody did.
Oh,
okay,
maybe I did.
maybe it was Josh.
It wasn't
Jason,
me.
I don't know.
Blame it on somebody.
Yeah, I was trying
Ivy
to.
League
I was
is
trying
back.
to trick you. Because I hope we
First
didn't
time
do
in
this.
2 years, I am so proud the Ivy League's back. So we're going to pick Cornell and Yale. They've not played in 2 years. Let's go around. We got to do a rapid fire here. But Cornell, Yale. Let's begin with Jason Cox.
Well, I don't like people that yell, and I like cornbread, so give me Cornell.
All right, Josh Rogers.
Yale, yeah.
Shelton.
Yale. Yeah.
And I've got Yale. Oh, I'll go with Cornell just because you did. Okay, so Cornell it is. Another out of SEC game. I'm going to pick one here. Okay, you got Notre Dame, Wisconsin, at Soldier Field. Unbelievable. That's a noon game. It's already happened. Josh Rogers.
Wisconsin, maybe. I don't know. Notre Dame. It's a game that I really don't care about. But I'm going to
I know
go
we
with
don't care about it, but I gotta throw it out.
Wisconsin.
Jason.
Notre Dame.
Shelton.
Notre Dame.
I got Wisconsin. All right, it is the game we're all concentrating on. Tennessee will be at Florida tonight, 7 o'clock kickoff. Let's begin with Josh Rogers. Josh?
Like we've said this entire show, it's going to be on Tennessee's defense to stop that Florida run, but I don't think it happens today. I think you'll see Florida take the lead early and stay with the lead big time for Florida tonight.
Reverend Jason Cox.
Well, I'm not sure that Tennessee's better than Florida in any facet of the game. Over the last 3 seasons, Florida has won this game by an average of 23 points. It's in the swamp. It's at night. However,
Oh, my Lord.
Gone are the days of Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy, I don't believe in touchdowns, Pruitt. Gone are quarterbacks that we just can't get behind and cheer for.
No, they're
not. Tonight, Hendon Hooker goes to the swamp, cements his legacy, and drains the swamp. Tennessee 35, Florida 34.
Oh, Lord. Shelton, follow that.
Florida wins by 4 touchdowns.
And there he is. Josh Rogers finally got an NIL deal. There, hold it up. There it is. Las Margaritas. He's enjoying his chips and salsa. If you're listening on the radio.
You want one?
And Las Mas, throwing those, has screens. So go watch the games today at Las Mas or even tonight for dinner. Now you've got me in the mood for Mexican. Thanks. It's that's it. Rocky Top Review Week 4. Thanks. Yes. Cox's pick's almost depressing.
Yeah.
It's the CHI Memorial bringing you the sponsorship here.
Nobody wants to hear us all
Big
pick
Orange
Florida.
Countdown on the Vol Network. Up next. See you next week.
I'm getting Uber.